Hi, I'm Andrea Klim, and you're watching Turn to the Stars. And today is September 18th. And my guest on the show today is Julie from New Hampshire.
Hi.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. Julie's come on today. Julie is a longtime client and a friend, has become a personal friend. And today we want to talk with you about relationships. Relationships are a huge thing right now for everybody in the world. And Julie wanted to share with you a story about a really important relationship in her life. Can you tell us about that, Julie?
I certainly can. My screen behind me is my son. He's 9 years old. When we first met you, I was living with him alone in my house in Bow. And we had a very tight relationship. He was with his father very little, and he was with me the whole time. And what I love about what you do and what you shared on your back screen is his sign and my sign.
You went up this, there you are.
Oh, yeah, I'm back. And so the two of us together, and when we're experiencing things together and when we need each other, it wasn't hugely important. And shortly after you and I started to work my charts, I met my now husband. So the charts were amazing for putting then the third layer of my husband, myself, and my son. And my husband has 2 children. And so from it, the stars all come in a line sometimes, and they don't. So this has constantly helped me be a better person, knowing my struggles and how I can really gain that inspiration for my son. To the point that knowing what I'm going through is affecting him, I've now, which I know in another show, we're going to talk about something really powerful that you had seen coming in my life, but I'm now experiencing physical therapy, and my son goes to my appointments with me. And from this, we're healing. So he was 3 when I met you, and he's now 9. So this has been really powerful for me and how I really am looked at on a universe level, and how I can really show him the best side of me.
Wow. Wow. You know, it's so interesting. You say 3 years old when he was 3 years old when you met me. And that was the age my daughter was when I got married. And so that's a magical age, 3. I know that, you know, a child from, you know, up to about 2 or 3, that around that age is when the ego really starts to be more recognized in a person or a child, because that's their defense mechanism. And the ego is actually forms a purpose to protect us. And it's, so that's really interesting. But relationships, you know, the relationships charts really can provide great insight into the reason why, you know, what is it that you bring to a relationship and what is it that he brings you in a relationship? We were having this conversation before the show about, you know, the magic and the knowledge and the wisdom that relationship charts bring. And it just kind of like opens up another door of conversation and thought of how that relationship is influencing you and how you're influencing them.
Well, it's funny, everybody I've ever spoken to has always asked me, do you know how to play, Julie? Do you know how to play? I'm like, I don't know if I know how to play. And what you said about my son's chart is he's such a serious young man, but he's playful underneath. Mm-hmm. And the pattern in my life is no one told me I had this playfulness underneath. I just thought I had to grow up. And now at 44, I'm being reminded to find that playful, and the layers are on top of it, where my son's layer is right there. And so to hear you reminds me that, yes, he can grow up very quick, but he's got this really loving, playful side underneath him that will allow him to be 9. And these are the reminders that we tend to get in our own place. And now it's amplified because I'm his world. He's going through so much right now with school at home and, not having the exposure to his friends, not having that, learning to play on his own, and me learning to play with him. And so it's really important to see what his chart's affecting him and what to focus on and what I shouldn't be focusing on.
Yeah, he has what you're talking about, which is astrology support, the patterns in his astrology support of, he's got Leo ruling his chart, which is the playful, strong, expressive, can be dramatic at times, but underneath, he's not, like on the surface, he's Capricorn. He's responsible, he's serious, and he is going through some major transitions in his day-to-day life right now. That's what we were just talking about. So it really, it's confirming.
Yeah.
And so just talking about the support, I guess, that astrology can bring you, especially in relationships. And I should say, right now, everyone could really benefit by doing some of the things that you were just telling me, like your therapist was removing some of the same father influences that you have and he has from you yesterday.
Yeah, it as he was, because we share the appointment, and as he was talking about his struggles with his father, I realized underneath I've been hiding all that, but I have those same struggles with my father of disappointment. And because I never dealt with it, I've shown my son it's okay, and it's not. And so now is the time to, your show mentioned that things that don't work for us, we have to let it go. So how I was raised is not the way I want to live the rest of my life. It was just the way I was raised.
It's an old belief.
Right. I'm the adult now, and I can think different, and I can share that it can be a different experience for my son and I. And from it, we were giggling and talking on the way home. It was so light, so light.
That's wonderful.
So it's, at some point in your life, and you say to yourself, why isn't this relationship working? Why isn't this relationship working? We have to look in the mirror. Mm-hmm. I started writing a book exactly on that, that you asked me a time before, Julie, have you started writing? And I have. And it's about actually seeing yourself. And it's not easy to do. And this is what we talk about with the Scorpio and our deep layer, because we really want to see us, really want to see who people see when we look in the mirror, is what everybody else looking at the same thing as what we see. Right.
And it's kind of interesting, something that might help everyone out there right now is the mantra that I talked about in my last article, which is the good in the world is finding its way toward me. The good in the world is finding its way toward you.
Beautiful.
And we had that, on the new moon, we had that Neptune opposite the new moon, which is releasing us right now. So we're seeing the after experience of reminding each other, the people that we connect with and that connect with us. We're seeing here's what we can do. We're reminding each other through those connections how we can resolve. Neptune is resolve, dissolve, what we suffered from And the world is not perfect. However, we can form bonds and connections that we choose. That's what oppositions do. They remind us, they help us to raise our awareness of what we choose, because we have that free will, what we choose and what we don't choose. And so I'm hoping that, you know, this can help everyone watching in their relationships as well. And I think that communication is key with the North Node in Gemini right now. Communication about the duality of things, sharing our knowledge, sharing our information, and also recognizing that, like you were just talking about, Julie, is that our old beliefs, which is the South Node of the Moon, which means the past. We're here right now to resolve these past things that we've believed in that have not been supportive. These past...
I think that with what the astrology that you teach and the astrology that you share from us, it's so unknown to the average person. We're so taught to go into a therapist's office and sit on a couch.
Yeah.
We're so taught to listen to our parents, our elders, and not to realize that we have a blueprint. We have the opportunity of being the best version of ourselves. And what you do is you give us that experience, you know, and, oh, you don't like what it looks like right now? Well, this date is coming up. Or you're having a struggle right now? This date is coming up. And that's what I really, really through these, and I know our show's about to end, but I just want to keep reminding and sharing until there's so many people that realize what a tool this is for life. Because over the last 6 years, when I book an appointment with you, I look forward to it. When I get your recording, I listen to it multiple times. And when I'm having a tough night, I put my headphones on and I listen to, okay, everything's moving. This is not my life. And I just am so excited to share really the huge changes. So I honor it and I thank you and I can't wait till the next show.
I appreciate you so much, Julie. I want to just tell everyone out there that Julie has just decided she's going to join a class that I'm starting on September 23rd. It's called The Language of Astrology, and it is at a very reduced rate for 8 weeks of classes on Zoom. So I'm so happy that Julie's going to join, because when you have that type of passion about something you know works, it's amazing to learn all the little details, which is so much the Virgo new moon and that theme right now. So
I love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you again.
Yeah, so anybody that would like to join that class, just contact me, turntothestars.com. And thanks for watching. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you, Andrea.
And we will see you again in the next recording. Take good care. We'll see you then.